does seem that the whole structure of family law has been deeply influenced by feminist assumptions about what is owed women in general, by men, um, by the assumption about women suffering in marriage. The destruction of the family is a key tenet of much feminist thought. If not the absolute destruction of the family,
Right.
certainly it's reordering to free women from what are seen as burdens that women solely bear, whether that's the emotional labor of, looking after the well-being of children and the father of the family, or whether it's the unpaid labor, so-called, that women perform in the home. There is that sense that women are uniquely burdened by family responsibilities within the home. So I think that, that the stoking of resentment, the conviction that women have always given more than men in every
Right.
sphere of human society, but especially in a family. I do think that plays a huge role in the fact that, how else can you really explain the fact that, marriage is dissolved, in cases where a divorce is
I was just
sought?
saying that.
It's 75% women who are initiating the divorces. And I think that, the sense of resentment and
Right.
grievance, the conviction that one is owed something, that does come from feminism. And of course, in material terms, feminism has had its effect on family law in that we now live in a situation where a man can find himself essentially unilaterally divorced. He doesn't want the marriage to end. He may be quite happy to have it keep going, or he wants to work on
Yeah.
the relationship, but he finds himself divorced. He finds himself ejected from the family home, still forced to pay the mortgage on that home, which he's now no longer allowed to enter, unable to see the children
Yeah.
that he still is forced to pay for, and forced under penalty of going to prison. And we don't know how many men are in prison now because of non-payment of child support and alimony, forced to pay for a woman that he will never perhaps see again, and who doesn't care for him or look after him in any way. It's certainly a system that favors women heavily and is a incentive, I think you could even say, to dissolving marriages in
Yeah.
cases where the woman simply has grown tired of a husband. And I think, all of us, of course, understand why laws are created to protect women and children from abuse. But we have now defined abuse so elastically that nearly
Mm.
any behavior on the part of the man in the family can be seen as psychological or financial abuse. And, and we're so concerned, and we have allowed that concern to overturn due process of law and the presumption of innocence, so that all it takes, if a woman decides she wants to have nothing more to do with her ex-husband, and she doesn't even want him involved in her children's lives anymore, all she has to do is make an allegation of some sort. If she says that he has ever threatened her and the children, if she says that she suspects he sexually
Yeah.
abused one of their children, if she says he physically abused her or her children, there doesn't have to be any evidence. There is no due process for him. He is not presumed innocent. Her word alone can result in that man being barred from seeing his children, perhaps for the rest of his life, or certainly for a serious number of years.
Mm.